Hello everyone, thanks for joining me for another video. We're looking at the music that's inspired me and that I feel is very special to me and has been over the years. We're going alphabetically and we're on G at the moment, and G is mainly for me Genesis. So a very important band in my life. Got into them in the mid-70s. I may have misspoken on the last video in terms of when I first started to discover the Gabriel era Genesis. I didn't see Genesis until '77 on the Wind and Wuthering tour, but I'm pretty sure I'd heard Lamb Lies Down on Broadway prior to that. Going back to my school days, my memory is very faint, shall we say. Even last week, can't remember what was going on. But yeah, I'm pretty sure we had albums that were going around the school. There was certainly Lamb, there was certainly Foxtrot, and I remember I bought Trick of the Tail, and then I swapped it with my mate for his copy of Foxtrot, and we were doing all those sorts of things. So I think I had sort of discovered Gabriel era Genesis before I actually saw Genesis in '77, but really the sort of full discovery really was from kind of mid-'76 onwards, and backtracking to all the earlier stuff. So yeah, it certainly warrants a good 3 videos minimum for me on Genesis, and this one is going to focus on the album of theirs which will always have a special place in my heart, and that's The Lamb Lies Down on Broadway. So I mean, I'm not going to try and do a sort of a full review or an explanation or even my take on it, but it's just one of those albums which for me, you have bands doing their material and their music and their writing, and they do new albums, and yeah, it's all great and here's our latest work, but yeah, they come up with something like The Lamb. I mean, a double album, a concept album based on a story written by Gabriel. It's just something that moves everything to another level completely. The creativity, the ingenuity, the fact that there was nothing like anything else, certainly that I've heard, and that's not to say I've heard everything, but it's just one of those things that takes you, what I like is it completely takes you out of yourself, puts you in the world of this guy Rail, and you're kind of with him as he's going through these experiences, and basically life-changing episodes in his life, sort of coming of age and everything else that he goes through. But there's all sorts of metaphors in there that you can take out from it if you want to, whether they're meant or not. So I think Gabriel's writing was completely at its peak. The band's performance level was completely at its peak, and so it just all came together into a wonderful melange of creativity, really. So you've got the sort of brashness, you've got the urgency, you've got the beautiful melodies, no end of melodies, and you've got storytelling, you've got just sufficient ambiguity to make you think, oh yes, it's a bit highbrow, this, which is not highbrow at all, but it makes you think, which is what music should do. So you've got to think about what it might be about and what it means to you. The mood changes are just fantastic throughout one side of the album. You have mood changes throughout the whole album itself. You have a kind of a development of mood. It peaks brilliantly towards the end with the sort of climaxing segments, and it's just a fantastic experience. So I ought to really just play the whole thing, but I don't see there's much point in that. So I've just put selections together from the album. I've tried to blend them together as best I can so it sounds not too jarring. and when you're expecting a certain track to come next and it doesn't. But we're still over an hour long, so it's the bulk of it's there. From I think the Light Dies Down on Broadway onwards, I've used a live recording, brilliant soundboard live recording from the Shrine Auditorium. So that's them performing it live. The rest is from the studio album. The other thing to mention is that the imagery that I've put up in no way reflects the song that's on the actual audio. I just wanted to put something up basically as an image to look at, but it's not intended to be a sort of audio visual thing. It's just an excuse for me to play tracks from the album and to have some lamb imagery on there. For instance, I'm fully aware that when the live tracks start, and I've put some live shots up there, the live shots are not from that part of the show. So apologies for that. Anyway, so these things are always rushed together, as you know with me. I just don't have the time to make these things more comprehensive than they should be, and I just wish I did have had more time to do it. So anyway, here's my little tribute to what I think is one of the most sensational rock albums ever been made by any artist, and for me, I will happily take it to my grave and listen to it continuously, never get tired of it, never feels old, full of interest and pure musical enjoyment. So here we go with my choice of selections from The Lamb Lies Down on Broadway.
Something solid forming in the air, and the wall of death is lowered in Times Square. No one seems to care, they carry on as if nothing was there. The wind is blowing harder now, blowing dust into my eyes. The dust settles on my skin, making a crust I cannot move in. And I'm hovering like a fly, waiting for the windshield on the freeway. image of you and it buried in the sand. Sirens on the rooftops wailing, but there's no ship sailing. Groucho with his movies trailing stands alone with his punchline failing. Ku Klux Klan serve hot soul food, and the band plays in the mood. The cheerleader waves her cyanide wand. There's a smell of peach blossom and bitter almond. Carl Chessman sniffs the air and leads the parade. He knows, innocent, you can bottle all you made. There's Howard Hughes in blue suede shoes, smiling at the majorette, smoking Winston cigarettes. And as the song and dance begins, the children play at home with needles and pins. Said if I helped her through, she could help me too. But I could see that she was wholly blind. From a pale face and a pale skin, a moonlight shined. Lily white lily, she gonna take you through the tunnel of night. Lily white lily, she gonna lead you right. Let me feel the way the breezes blow, and I'll show you where to go. So I followed her into a big round cage. She said they're coming for you now, don't be afraid. Then she sat me down on a cold stone throne, carved in jade. Lily white lilies, she gonna take you through the tunnel of night. Lily white lilies, she gonna lead you right. the pumping's nearly over for my sweetheart. This is the one for me. Time to meet the chef. Oh boy, the running man is out of death. Feel cold, the road is getting hard to catch my breath. Spark to ash. Now you've had your flash, boy. The rocks in time compress your blood to oil, your flesh to coal. Enrich the soil, not everybody's goal. Anyway, they say she comes on a pale horse, but I'm sure I hear a train. Oh boy, I don't even feel no pain. I guess I must be driving myself insane. Damn it all, 'tis us plug a hole in heaven, or heaven plug a hole in us. How wonderful to be so profound, when everything you are is dying underground. I feel the pull on the rope, let me off at the rainbow. I could have been exploded in space, different orbits for my bones. Not me, just quietly buried in stones. Keep the deadline open with my maker. See me stretch the God's elastic acre. The doorbell rings and it's good morning, rail. So sorry you have to wait. It won't be long. Yeah, she's really, really late. The scent grows richer. He knows he must be near. He finds a long passageway lit by chandelier. Each step he takes, the perfumes change from familiar fragrance to flavors strange. A magnificent chamber meets his eye. Inside, a long rose water pool is shrouded by fine mist. Stepping in the moist silence, with the warm breeze he's gently kissed. Thinking he is quite alone, he enters the room as if it were his own. But ripples on the sweeping water reveal some company unthought of. Rail stands astonished, doubting his sight, struck by beauty, gripped in fright. 3 vermilion snakes of female face, the smallest motion filled with grace. Muted melodies fill the echoing hall, but there is no sign of warning in the siren's call. Rail, welcome, we are the Lamia of the Pool. putting fear beside him. He trusts in beauty blind. He slips into the nectar, leaving his shredded clothes behind. With their tongues they test, taste and judge all that is mine. They move in a series of caresses that glide up and down my spine. As they nibble the fruit of my flesh, I feel no pain. Only a magic that a name would stain. With the first drop of my blood in their veins, their faces are convulsed in mortal pains. The fairest cries, "We all have loved you well." Empty snake-like body floats, silent sorrow in empty boats. A sickly sourness fills the room, the bitter harvest of a dying bloom. Looking for motion I know I will not find. I stroke the curls now turning pale, in which I lain entwined. Oh, Lamia, your flesh that remains I will take as my food. It is the scent of garlic that lingers on my chocolate fingers. Ba-ba-dee-ba. I wandered lonely as a cloud till I came upon this dirty street. I've never seen a stranger crowd. Summer-day girls on squeaky feet, continually pacing with nonchalant embracing. Each artist disgracing, one facing the moves to say hello. Your skin's all covered in slimy lumps, with lips that slide across each chin. His twisted limbs like rubber stumps. I waved in welcome, say please join in. My grip must be flipping, cause his handshake keeps slipping. My hopes keep on dipping, and his lips keep on smiling all the time. Suddenly a black cloud come down from the sky. It's a supersized blackbird that sure can fly. Now you're sick with your grouch. I'm not Chris, my honey pouch, which my slouch will wear sun very low. He walks away and leaves me once again. Even though I never learned, I'd hoped he showed you some concern. Some concern. Some concern.
a sense of yesteryear. A window in the back above his head reveals his home amidst the streets. Subway sounds, the sounds of complaint, the smell of acid on his car paint as he calls as the skylight beckons him to leave. He hears a scream from far below. Within the raging water rise the form of Brother John. He cries for help. The gate is fading now, but open wide. But John is drowning. I must decide between the freedom I have and the red trees. I'd have stayed forever in this forsaken place. Hey John! He makes for the river, and the gate is gone. Back to the void where it came from. And the light dies down, 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 down on Broadway. Tumbling all around me. If I won't draw the line, I gotta ditch my fear, take a dive, but I still got my drive to survive. Evil Knievel, you got nothing on me.
John is drifting out of sight. It's only at the turning point that you find out how you fight. In the cold, feel the cold all around. And the rush of crashing water surrounds me with its sound, striking out to reach you. I can't get through to the other side, and you're racing in the rapids. There's only one way, that's to ride. Taken down by the undertow. And I'm spiraled down the riverbed. My fire is burning low, catching hold of a rock that's full. I'm waiting for John to be very fast. We hold together, and shoot the rapids fast. And when the water slows down, the dog and the deep have no one left to keep. And it's hang on, John, we're out of this at last. Something's changed, that's not your face. It's mine, it's mine. The summer is cooking in your hometown. It is ticking, it is age, it is in between our legs. Walking by the moon, leaving out the goon. It is a jigsaw, it is purple haze. It never stays in one place, but it's not our past. It is really a shingles bar in the distance out we face. It is in between the cages, it is always in space. It is here, it is now. It is now. And the need to move, keep another to build the tone. It is no warning words of you. Survive everything that is pretentious. You can take it for a ride. Look at the grass will be running before you